Our next man to the podium is the reigning PSAC Men's Swimming Coach of the Year, Mr. Stu Marvin.
Thank you, David. Appreciate that. I thought about what I was going to say introducing Ralph. There's so many things that go through your head. But tonight is a celebration of history, and I just love the history of Bloomsburg, and especially Bloomsburg swimming. It's in its 58th year. Ralph swam in years 9 through 12. And I started in year 14. And I didn't really get the chance to meet Ralph. He didn't come around much after graduation like the other crazy guys in the back of the room. And they were very instrumental in teaching me the history of Bloomsburg swimming. And I'd heard about Ralph. Coach McLaughlin talked about him often. I knew he was a great swimmer, but I never got a chance to meet him. And it was one of one of the down parts of my career that I didn't get to meet the guys that came before me, all of them. So fast forward about 15 years later, I'm in Fort Lauderdale, hosting the YMCA National Championships. And I'm working the time trial window, and you non-swimmers don't know what that is. But the kids would come up and they would hand in these entry slips for time trials, and I read one and it says Moerschbacher, Sunbury YMCA. I'm thinking, how many Moerschbachers from Sunbury can there be? So I'm thinking, this has got to be Ralph's daughter, which means Ralph might be at the meet. So for those of you who don't know, the Swimming Hall of Fame and the YMCA Nationals, it is one of the largest age group swim meets in the world. There's 3,000 parents in the stands. So I go up into the grandstands. Sun is shining, the parents are screaming, and I find the Sunbury YMCA parents. And I said, which one of you is Ralph Moerschbacher? And he comes up to me and we shake hands, and I finally got to meet him. Ralph was a 5-time PSAC champ. He broke 38 team records in his career, 8 of them alone in one event. He was the only swimmer so far to win 3 consecutive PSAC titles. That may change, Ralph, in February, we hope. But it is my honor to introduce him to you, Ralph Moerschbacher, the 6th man to go into the Bloomsburg Swimming Hall of Fame and the Bloomsburg Athletic Hall of Fame. Ralph Moerschbacher.
Somebody else's speech is up there. I better turn it over. Thanks a lot, Stu. It's truly a great honor to be chosen for the Bloomsburg University Athletic Hall of Fame. I feel very privileged, not only to receive this recognition, but to be included in such a talented 36th Hall of Fame class. My congratulations to all you inductees. There's no possible way I could stand up here tonight and thank everyone who played a role in my being here, but I'd like to take this time to recognize some of those individuals. I'd like to express my gratitude to Dr. Bashar Hanna, Dr. Michael McFarland, and the entire athletic administration team, and to David Leisering. Doing a good job, Dave. Many thanks to fellow Hall of Fame member, Coach Stu Marvin, my constant champion in nominating me for this honor. And a special thanks to my fellow Husky swimmers who are here tonight. Whether you belong to the ancient or the modern era, I appreciate your support, guys, really. I'm also very grateful to have members of my family here tonight. My daughters, Jenny Molinelli, Sarah Brocious, and Sarah's husband, Josh, They are parents of our 4 grandchildren, and from what I'm seeing, there may be some future swimmers coming forward soon. I'm so happy my sisters Mary Hooper and Joanne Edwards, who were 2 of my earliest cheerleaders, and my brother-in-law Bill Edwards are here to share this evening as well. Some special people aren't here with us tonight in body, but will always be with me in spirit. I owe a deep debt of gratitude to my coach, Eli McLaughlin. I'm honored tonight to be able to share this evening with his daughter Beth Labaugh and her son Dean, a current BU student. Did they make it? I don't think so. We did invite them. In his obituary, it was shared that Eli's swimmers remember their coach as one really tough guy who taught them some really important life lessons that, with the passage of time and their own maturity, have become the mainstay of their lives. Many of the lessons I learned, committing to improvement, continually learning, competing to attain a goal, and following my beliefs that carried me forward through my personal and business life. I'm very grateful for my parents. My mom, Ann, drove me to countless swim practices and meets. She was so proud to see me participating in the sport of swimming at the college level. But even more important was the role she saw it playing in my becoming a college graduate. My dad had a familiarity with town of Bloomsburg from his days of working for Bell Telephone. He loved it and said I should go to Bloom because they trusted Eli would teach me well. And maybe I could meet a nice girl who lived on a farm where we could go and hunt for pheasants. I did, and she is here with me tonight, my wife, Rusty. All worked out pretty well. We all know change happens. In 1964, Bob Dylan wrote the lyrics for a song, "The Times They Are A-Changin'." I'd like to share a few verses. Come gather around, people, wherever you roam, and admit that the waters around you have grown, and accept that soon you'll be drenched to the bone. If your time to you is worth saving, then you better start swimming, or you'll sink like a stone, for the times they are a-changin'. When I came to Bloomsburg in 1966, it was a fairly small, well-thought-of school to attend with strong programs in business, education, special education, and teacher development. Master level classes were beginning to be offered, and students were gaining increasing voice in how things were run. But things were growing and changing. 2 new dorms, South Hall and Elwall Hall, were added for the expanding enrollment. Of course, you've grown exponentially since. We saw and experienced change everywhere those years. Political protests, racial riots, assassinations of Martin Luther King and Bobby Kennedy, the Kent State shootings, anti-Vietnam War protests, and manned space missions to the moon. These all were influencing the students and faculty. It certainly was a time of peace and love. Things were changing fast here. For example, in my freshman year, the only way you could dine in the Commons in the evening was for a group of 4 men in coat and tie to dine with 4 women in dresses and heels for a family-style dining experience. Getting 4 young ladies to wait for 4 swimmers after a 2 to 3 hour practice was quite a feat. We were ravished, like most athletes, and passing the meat, potatoes, and veggies often meant the ladies didn't have to work on their diets or worry about gaining the freshman 15. One of the purposes was not only to develop acceptable manners, but to get to know fellow classmates. I'm still dining every night with one of those girls. Times were changing with swimming too. I was an independent swimmer from my high school when I came to Bloom. I became part of a team and experienced a sense of camaraderie like never before. The upperclassmen Coach had were the core of BU swimming, and our freshman class was the future. Going into 1967-68, Eli had us pointed at winning the PSAC championship. It would be a big deal for a team that was 4th the season before. But with training and dedication to improvement, we believed we could change BU swimming and be champions. By the way, that 67-68 team ended up 2nd, 4.5 points shy of our goal, but we kept on a swimming and a changing. Times continue to change for us all, and for BU. Bloomsburg State College is Bloomsburg University. In 1970, there were about 2,500 students. Today, almost 10,000. Am I right? And in 1970, Centennial Pool was our 4-lane home, and Nelson Fieldhouse was in the planning stages with its 6 lanes. Only the men had a swim team. Title IX was on the horizon, and men's and women's swim programs were producing champions that continue to develop men and women who will make positive impacts in their future careers and lives. Times have changed too. Let's talk about racing times. The ones on the record boards. Today swimmers just keep swimming faster and breaking those old records. Changes everywhere, new buildings, playing fields, dorms, increase in undergraduate and graduate programs, new technologies, and a new president. But the mission of preparing students for careers in their field continues here. Those times, they keep a-changing, and I know the swimmers and students here won't be sinking like a stone, but will be making future challenges prepared to keep on us swimming, and doing it pretty fast too. So thank you again for this honor. I gratefully accept. Huskies always!